I'm Keith, your GM, your Keeper of Secrets, and with me today is Dr. Elliot Knight, Blake Emberlich, Vince, Professor Gregor, and Ivan Petrovich. We are gathered at Rosewood. It's an old Victorian mansion. It's recessed in a heavily wooded lot just at the edge of New Garden. It's been your chapter house since you were recruited by Circus Lucius, the Circle of Light. The rumors are that maybe there's other chapter houses like this, but it's just a rumor. Mr. S, the head of the house, the keeper of secrets, if you will, he doesn't share everything with everybody. Mr. S has summoned you today, and now you sit patiently in the library as he enters. As if on cue, the lights immediately dim, and a projector screen lowers from the ceiling. A light flickers, comes into focus, and a picture appears on the screen. It's a big top tent. You see yellow police tape surrounding it. Let me introduce you to Changeable Entertainment. They are a traveling circus that puts on themed shows throughout the year. Santa and elves during the winter, Shakespearean fairies during the spring, pirates during the summer, and a spooky show during the fall. On Monday, October 13th, they were putting on their last show for the evening when everyone in the tent vanished. There is video footage of the audience, the performers, all going into the tent. There is no sign of anyone leaving. The police arrived on the scene within 30 minutes of the end of the final show. All they found were the carnies that were working outside the tent. It's now been over 24 hours since the incident, and the police are no closer to discovering what happened. We've been approached through back channels to do what they are not able to find out what happened, find the missing people, bring them home. As Mr. S explained the situation, the images behind him changed to show different views of the circus. You see a few smaller tents for collectibles and souvenirs. They show a parking lot filled with trucks and RVs for the cast and crew. There's another parking lot, nearly empty, where the guests would have parked. As always, our objective is not to draw attention to our activities. While we support the effort of local law enforcement, we do not operate in conjunction with them. If you find yourself on the wrong end of law, if you're brought in for questioning, do not say anything about what we're doing. Our legal staff will be there to bail you out. They can answer any questions, and they'll get you home. The lights in the room come back on as projector screen rises back into the ceiling. Do you have any questions?
People who disappeared, that parking lot looked empty. Were their vehicles towed away, or did their vehicles also disappear afterwards?
It's a good question. I believe from what I've seen of the initial police report, and forgive me, I have not seen everything. There is no vehicles for the missing people.
Has anybody run their identifications, or is there any list of known, like who was there? That way we could see where their vehicles were registered or addresses or anything?
They have the list of people who were performers. It was a private showing. There were 6 performers on stage, 2 crew members. We do not yet have a list of who attended the private showing.
Do we have who organized the private showing? Who requested it?
Ben Williamson is the general manager of the circus. He manages it as it goes from show to show. He's on site. He was not there during the incident.
Who can we pretend to be if we are going to question people with voice of authority? What is our, I look like janitor.
And I'm a little well known.
We do not work officially with the police department, but they have requested our assistance in an unofficial capacity. Detective Sophie Mills will be there on site. She will be your liaison.
Will we be there as consultants then?
Yes. Independent consultants working on the behalf of New Eden Police Department. And as he says that, Danny gets up and walks around the room, and he gives you all these little shiny little name badges. And they just have your name on them, and it just says consultant, and it does say New Eden Police Department underneath it. They look passable.
Ivan practices once. He turns to his left. I think Blake is there, and he's like, "Freeze! Put your hands up." And he tries to put the badge in front of your face, but it's too tight to him. It's like,
that's pretty good.
These badges look more like you are part of the team that manages a gaming convention more than police officer badges. There's no gold shield. There are lanyards. There's or like a little clip pin onto them. There is a little. There's no actual badge on there at all, and there's a little QR code at the bottom.
Detective Petrovich III.
Ivan, you're going to finally get some action.
Yes.
Elliot's going to pull up his camera and his glasses and scan the QR code and see where it takes it to.
The QR code actually does take you to the New Eden Police Department's website. A quick cursory glance at that. You do not see any reference of special consultants, special assignments, or anything like that. It just seems to be the normal public-facing police department website.
What? Where should we start? I've never done this sort of thing before, so I've only seen TV shows where this, they hire random people, eccentrics and such as consultants, so I don't really know how to actually do that. Do you have any suggestions as to where we should start?
The circus might be a good spot.
We go talk to Detective Lady Liaison Person. If it's like those television shows, one of you are going to fall in love with her and be very different than her.
Don't think that'll be me.
Oh. Shall we?
Yeah, that sounds like a good place to start as any.
I was going to quickly just look up the name of the circus on the internet. See, maybe look at their website.
Changeable Entertainment.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to have you. We're going to do our first dice roll of the session.
Boy, technically first dice roll of the game.
Yeah.
Yes. So what I'm going to have you do is you are more than welcome. We are using Roll20 here for some of our stuff. You can roll on Roll20 if you like, but just grab a pair of dice and roll it out in front of you, and you make a library use roll. Just let me know how you succeeded. It's a normal success.
Savvy. I'll roll it on Roll20 here, and I have a 39 on the dice and a 70 in library use, so that is a regular success.
Very good.
Oh, yeah.
Changeable Entertainment does have its own website, and they do appear to be putting on shows, 4 different shows a year. The shows run for about 13, hold on a second. They run for about 11 weeks. They run for about 11 weeks in here. This appears to be week 3 of their Halloween special, their Halloween season special. What they seem to be focusing on is they do high wire acts, they do juggling, they do knife throwing, they have clowns, they do escape artists, they do some magic on here, and it is all Halloween themed. This year's theme is vampires.
Fascinating.
Is there anything else you'd like to? That's a very quick cursory glance at their website.
So it was mentioned to us something about a private showing. Is there like a reserve private showing or something there that is?
There is not.
No.
There is not there's a phone number.
I see.
But there is nothing about reserving private shows.
Interesting.
Yeah, Mr. S, I've got a question. Last time we got involved with some weird things, we were in mortal peril. Are you going to send us with any reinforcements? I don't think any of us are particularly the fighting type.
And since you mentioned vampires, do you have a steak, garlic, cross, Star of David, anything that we might use against one?
Well, first, Danny would be your driver to get you there. He has an SUV out front ready to take you. He is more than qualified to handle himself in most extreme situations. Vince, you may have missed this, but their goal is, that's the show they're putting on as vampires. I don't think they're actually real vampires here.
Yeah, well, I thought there wasn't a real. I never thought there was a were-yeti, so I'm just trying to cover my bases.
Okay. If you, I can ask Danny to gather up some stakes and some hammers for you. I'm sure we have garlic in the kitchen.
And I'm sure, if one religious artifact will kill a vampire, surely any religious artifact will kill a vampire. So I'm just going to go I would like to just look for any religious artifact in the manor and gather it up. Crosses, Stars of David, Bibles, Qurans,
Yeah.
Tao Te Chings, whatever.
Do you find?
I think I'm sure they have different translations of Bibles, Tanakhs, Torahs. Maybe they have a Quran. Who knows? And he just sort of gathers everything that he can think of to use against vampires because he's seen enough movies. He knows.
Vince, some information for you. In Russia, vampires are slightly different. They are called verdalduk. He says that with a big drip. And they can be outside in the daylight. They have activity in daylight. They sometimes attack their family first. And they don't always bite with fangs. They have barbed tongue. This isn't helping. One thing I do remember. They have, what do you call it here? No, Eden, OCD.
They have to count the salt?
Yes.
I think that might be a Western.
That's a pretty common vampire trope, I think. I've seen that in several TV shows.
Okay. So, like something to count might be good.
Excellent. I will bring salt as well.
Thank you.
Since you've taken precautions, you gathered up the things you've learned from watching TV, from reading books. You've made a good collection of the standard trope items for vampires.
Yeah.
And you have them in like this black carry-on bag that is very much like the Van Helsing type bag that you would see in a movie that you can carry around.
Once we begin traveling, I think I'm going to have Diana run a search for any news articles or crimes that have been reported related to the circus and just see if anything pops up or any recurring trends pop up in the news.
I feel like that's also going to be a library use role for us.
That is a 64 out of 70. So regular success.
And just for clarification, I'll make the distinction between library use versus computer use is that if you are doing maintenance or hacking a computer, we'll use computers. If we're using computers to research things, we'll most likely be using library use. And what did you roll again, sir?
That's a regular success.
Regular success. Perfect. Changeable Entertainments actually has a very good reputation for putting on a safe, family-friendly show. There are some reports of someone brawling at the circus, someone being a little too not inebriated during one of the shows. But going back for the last 2 years, you don't find any incidents of anything related to the cast and the crew. In fact, a cursory background check on many of the people who are associated with the most likely ones, the MC, the owners, the people whose names you can find pretty quickly, they all seem to have pretty clean background checks. Other than some parking tickets and one DUI, there is nothing on them, no extensive criminal record that you can spot. Maybe if you dig a little deeper or spend more time, you might find something, but just in a cursory look as Vince is running around, I need a stake, I need a cross, I need a hammer, as he's running around to the house. Where's the holy water? Where do you keep the holy water? As he's running through the house doing that, you take the opportunity to do a little research.
I do hate to frighten you even more, Vince, but I'm no certain expert on vampire lore specifically. As far as I'm aware, they are not normally capable of making an entire circus disappear.
Well, obviously, but maybe, I don't know. I'm just trying to cover my bases.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that necessarily that a vampire is responsible for all of this, but who knows? And we don't want to encounter a vampire unprepared, is what I'm saying.
It honestly wouldn't be the strangest thing that we've come across.
This is exactly true.
No, but I mean, if we want to be prepared, we should bring... No, salt is probably good against a few things. Salt and silver.
really quickly, thinking back to the dossiers that we've been reading through in the papers, have there been mentions of events that have happened, but have there ever been any explanations in those about like what committed those events? Are we aware of other creatures or other things that were related to some of these disappearances or murders or anything like that?
What you're referring to are the dossiers you collected as you were recruited into the Circle of Light. And in them, there were newspaper articles and police reports and incident reports from businesses that have all been collected together. And to a T on all of them, there was always some rational explanation pushed forward to it. We had a gas leak in this incident. We had an escaped patient in another incident. We had some drug use. There was a new drug on the scene known as Rampage that is causing extreme strange behavior, memory loss, violence, disorientation. In some cases, they're just simply reporting it as, youthful vigor, or even for the older case, dementia, Alzheimer, loss of facilities. Someone comes up missing, they just wander off on their own. A building isn't where you thought it was. Clearly, you walk through a doorway, you turn back, and that doorway is not there. Sometimes you have that kind of that deja vu moment where you think you did something, but it never really happened, or you saw it before. So maybe that's all it was. Maybe it was just the matrix resetting. People have a great habit of trying to rationalize things they can't understand.
Are there any notes from the order that kind of like explain like what their thinking was, or are all these just the public facing documents?
They are the public facing documents. As Mr. S has told you that he has an opinion on what's going on. And he has brought in experts to look at this and give him some additional opinions. He doesn't want those opinions to drive your understanding of it. He believes, because somebody who he trusts has told him, that you are going to play an important role in what's about to come. He didn't say what that role is, and he won't tell you who told him that.
Well, obviously they're right, but
it's kind of not that you guys are the chosen ones or prophesize, but it's like, if you know the people who know of prophecies, do prophecies become self-fulfilling because you know the prophecy exists or not? And Mr. S is taking the idea that the less you know that's suppositional, the less that's going to influence you in strange ways. Whether that's a correct assumption on his part or not, we have yet to see.
Hey, Vince, don't let them leave without me. Blake is going to run upstairs and come back down a little bit later with what is half kit, half bug out bag.
We'll make sure that they don't leave without you, Blake.
Okay.
I have two working potential supernatural explanations here. Neither of them involve vampires necessarily, but doesn't hurt to be prepared. One is something about this show inadvertently invoked a ritual that went wrong. The second is that they happened to put on a show in some sort of thin space, and they've slipped off to somewhere else. But we have to talk to people and look at the seat. This could be
Thin
anything.
space. What do you mean?
Well, from what research I've done, there's sort of theoretical explanations of this sort of thing. But depending on who you ask and what they believe. Actually, I'm wondering how much detail I can go into here. Is it all right if I'm making a cultural first, just to sort of try and
go for it? Yes.
Yeah.
In this type of situation, you're speculating, you're throwing things out. So I'm neither going to confirm nor deny anything to it. The occult roll
of course.
gives you the percentage of like, maybe you actually do know something.
I did not succeed there. So I'll throw out some wild speculation. Like, it's no guarantee anything's correct here. I've read a lot of different conflicting reports. Obviously, there's the old fairy rings. You go in, you're trapped in some sort of fairy world, or the sort of newer incarnation of these liminal spaces where people fall through some sort of hole in the fabric of reality and end up in some other dimension.
I know what
Sort
you're
of
talking
like
about
with
there.
vampires, it's a theoretical monstrosity from urban legend and the occult. It has different rules depending on what source you go to.
So you're saying this is sort of like, I see what you're saying about liminal spaces. What you're suggesting perhaps is that this circus full of people no-clipped into one of these liminal spaces, so to speak.
In the parlance of our times, yes.
I mean, anything's possible. That's certainly, I mean, it would be insane if that was real, but so is everything else that's going on around here.
It is a potential supernatural explanation that has grounding in things that people have talked about.
If that
don't
is
have
the
any
case,
evidence for it.
If it's the case, then we need to be extremely on our toes if we go to this site in case one of us slips through ourselves. Because from the, urban legends, there's no way out. And there are quite a few monsters in those places.
Perhaps. The reports of this sort of thing are distinct enough. I can't call to mind anything that would guarantee some preparation. Turn on a location on your phone, perhaps?
I don't know.
But
I think perhaps just watching our step is the only thing we can do.
we'll all hold hands.
There we go. And fall into the abyss together.
Danny pulls the SUV around to the front. Some of you may have your own vehicles. Some of you may prefer to drive with the SUV. It is a rather large one. It does have room for everyone to sit comfortably, including Ivan. You proceed to make your way away from Rosewood, through the forest, along the winding road, till you get to the main highway. The main highway taking you into New Eden. And after about 45 minutes of driving, you come to a large shopping mall that is definitely past its prime. Still open, but has lots of empty spaces. The rear parking lot of the mall has been cordoned off by first Changeable Entertainments and the Circus, as they have put their tents up, and more recently by police barricades. Wooden police barricades are circled around it. There's a chain link fence around the big top, around the smaller tents, and you see what looks like a small castle, probably about 10-foot tall, 15-foot wide, portcullis made of wood that is centered in the chain link fence. It's a ticket booth. There's a police cruiser parked not far from it, and you see somebody in the ticket booth.
Is this one cruiser the only police presence we see?
It's the only police presence you see, yes. And the doors are closed, the engine is off. The person inside the ticket booth does not appear to be a police officer.
Is there a police officer in the police car?
No, there's not.
Okay.
I'll approach the ticket booth then.
Okay. You go to the ticket booth, and a young woman, she's probably in her early 20s, pokes her head up from inside. You can see she is packing things up. So she's getting the ticket booths, and she's taking things and putting them in boxes, getting them ready to move out. And she goes, "Oh, this is so tough. I'm behind schedule. I should have had this done last night, but we didn't. I'm sorry, but we're not doing any more shows. We're heading off. We're going to be in Franklin next week." And she seems really hesitant to say that, but yeah, we're going to Franklin.
I heard that there was a show earlier today. Good. Is there way I can talk to
our last show was Monday night. We'll be in Franklin on Friday. It's Tuesday today.
But this is horrible news. Can I speak to the do you know how I could speak to the manager of the circus hall? What's his name?
Ben Williamson.
Ben Williamson.
You know Ben? Yeah, hold on. I can find him. And she goes over and starts moving some boxes around, and she pulls a walkie-talkie off of it, and she beeps it, and she goes, "Hey Ben, there's some people at the gate asking for you." And he goes, "Here on the other side. Send them away. I don't want to talk to anybody. I'm not talking to any reporters or anyone." And she puts the thing down, and she's kind of a little embarrassed because she knows you can hear the other side of it. I'm sorry, Mr. Williamson is not available right now.
Detective Ivan Petrovich,
I am imagining he has snuck up behind this as we're talking.
this is a matter of the police. We didn't ask for permission to speak. Tell Mr. Come talk to us now. He forgot dude's name. He just called him Mr.
Like
She
the band.
gets back on the radio and beeps and goes, Ben, there's a detective
Ivan
Peter?
Petrovich.
Detective Petrovich here. And he says it's a police matter. Do you
He looks left. He
might
looks
want to
right.
come out?
You don't want me to come back with the warrant.
He said something about a warrant, Ben. So,
Professor Gregor will whisper in his ear, I'm pretty sure we can't pretend to be the police. That's like a felony, I'm pretty sure.
You know, my favorite TV show, he does it all the time. And he starts describing a TV show. I don't want to
I think
copyright anything, so I won't say which one it is, but you all
Vince-
have an imagination for it.
Vince is totally distracted by this conversation and starts talking to you about that show for a minute because he's watched it too and he loves it. And we're like, oh, and that one episode where that happened, and blah, 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 blah. And meanwhile, like everybody else just sort of staring or trying to just having this irrelevant conversation.
Which one of us is going to read his mind and know exactly if he's bad or good?
That wouldn't be me. I can't even read my own mind.
you see two people coming to you from one of the trailers. One is a man who is probably in his mid to late 40s, and he is a little overweight. He's got a little bit of a beard going. Not a whole lot, just looks like maybe he hasn't shaved for the last 5 or 6 days, and his hair is all messed up. With him is a woman in a dark pantsuit.
She looks
And
official.
she looks as she's walking, you can see her looking side to side. Her eyes are roving around. Her back posture is very precise. And she steps forward in front of the man. You have a detective with you?
I think Vince steps in
And
front of Ivan.
and she's looking around. And I think at that point, you spot the badge that's actually on her belt. Who's the detective?
And I think Vince steps in front of Ivan for a second and says,
The ticket person is pointing right at Ivan.
Ivan steps forward and is like, I asked the questions here. And then he looks over at Blake and goes like, you ask the questions.
Blake's gonna step forward and be like, hi, sorry, we're consultants. We don't know the process, but I'm Blake. That's Mr. Detective Petrovich. We've got Dr. Elliot Knight here. His name's Vince. And we got a professor. Look, we're not part of the official hierarchy, but we were asked to help.
I think Elliot's going to quickly do a reverse image search on this person to see if he can grab a name before she says anything.
I think that's going to be another library science check for you as well.
Oh,
As
yeah.
you're doing that, she looks and goes, special consultants. I was told to expect you. I didn't realize you had a detective. What police force are you with?
Vince is like trying to stop
Make
Ivan.
a fast talk roll on that.
I love it. Roll below a 5. What? How does luck work in this?
1-to-1. Then you can
Um,
spend down your points.
I will spend.
Well, don't worry about spending it until what'd you roll?
I rolled a 26, and I have to roll a 5.
Okay, you
Or
certainly
below.
could spend it. You
21.
will get a chance to regain some of your luck back,
Yeah,
but you might be out of luck pretty soon.
I'ma use it.
You gonna use it? Okay, so
yeah.
20 points of luck to get a success is what you have to spend.
Yes.
She looks at you, and she is like taken aback for a second. He goes, I understood that this was be a eclectic group. And she looks over at Dr. Knight, who's hard for people not to recognize him. He is the Tony Stark of our era.
Yeah. He is leader of task force.
So she recognizes him, doesn't recognize the rest of you, but assumes that you are like on loan from Russia. You're a Russian police officer on loan. Shows she kind of accepts that as an explanation as she hears your story. She goes, I'm Detective Mills. Sophie, I was told to expect you. This is Ben Williamson. He's the general manager here. I see you've already met Jenny. Jenny, let him in. And Jenny goes over and opens up the gate and allows you to go in through the chain link fence and into the inside. There isn't a lot here. The main attraction for this type of circus is the big top and what goes on inside of it. There are some food stands out here, some concession stands. There are also some stands where you can buy some artwork, like characters of famous monsters, even some paintings of famous monsters. There's some collectible masks, there's some collectible mugs and things like that out here. You even see one of the things has like collectible baseball caps. Most of them have been placed into boxes, just like Jenny's doing right now, placing things in the boxes. You see one other person who's over in one of the art stands, and he's boxing a few things up. Other than that, this area seems very quiet. You can hear from the distance, you can hear the sound of the mall, the cars going in and out, occasionally the sound of a kid yelling as he runs through the parking lot, or their parent yelling as they're trying to get them to stop. You're not isolated. You can hear the sound of the city around you.
Was it?
Ben, yes. Ben Williamson.
Ben,
And you are?
Well,
She
I'm
said
Professor
professor,
Gregor.
are you like
Yes.
Gilligan Island? Are you just called the professor?
Well, I'm Professor Gregor. But no, I don't know that much about the circus, but I have this nephew who's fascinated. When I heard about this case first, I didn't realize you guys did private shows. I was gonna check to organize something, but on your website, I didn't see anything about it.
We don't do a whole lot of private shows, maybe 3, 4 at most during a season. Lance is the one who normally handles all that.
And do we have contact information for Lance?
Lance, you don't have contact information for Ben does. And he tells you might have a tough time finding him right now.
Is he one of the ones who disappeared?
He was our master of ceremonies. He did the knife act for us. He did the knife throwing act, and also our general MC. He's the one who organized the event for last night.
Okay, but does he exist, or is he one of the ones who disappeared?
He's missing at the moment.
He's missing. Okay. Who was this private showing for? Was it for an organization, for a specific group of people?
Detective Mills goes, we don't know. That information appears to have been lost with Lance. Here's what I do know. And she hands you a list of the missing people. And it has the name of the 6 performers on it, the 2 stagehands on there as well. And we believe there were 12, maybe 13 people who went in as part of the audience.
A small showing for a circus.
It was very small. And as you're having this conversation, I need someone to make a spot hidden roll for me.
I'll do a spot hidden. Sure.
Spot hidden.
Can multiple people?
Sure, I think this would be okay.
Sweet.
Oh, look at me go. I see everything. 9 out of 49.
Regular
yeah.
Success, 41.
51
Hard
out of
success.
80.
Okay. As you're talking to Ben, you realize he has makeup on. And then as you're looking a little closer, and Vince, you notice this, I think you have a keener eye for this than most. As you look, you realize that he has like a lot of pancake makeup on to cover up this massive black eye that he has.
So
His left eye looking pretty swollen.
I will ask him about it. Just openly and just blatantly say, what happened to your eye?
I walked into a door.
Really? Like to
And
roll.
Can I make a psychology roll,
Yeah,
please?
exactly.
As he says that, you can see Jenny behind him is just like shaking her head, looking at the ground and shaking her head as he says that, calling him out, letting you know that that's not true, but she's doing it in a way that he doesn't see it happen.
I believe him because I rolled a 66 out of 35 on my psychology roll.
May I also attempt a psychology roll?
Yeah,
here?
you may.
All right. Man,
That That's
We
not
all
good.
believe him.
Door did you walk into?
We want to question the door.
Hey, Mr. Door, what's your deal?
Why are you so mad?
I also rolled a 92, so I'm like on board.
We have RVs here. So I was getting into my RV and I dropped the keys and I went down to get the keys and pick up the keys and I hit my eye against the doorknob on the RV as I was going into it. It's nothing. Not a big deal.
Say, does this Lance, who's a performer and MC, does he have a dressing room?
Yes, he does. Yeah, we all of the crew have trailers here. Some of them share it, but Lance, like me, he has his own private one.
Well, we should definitely investigate that. We should look at all the trailers. I'm not sure what for, but we should look at them.
And Detective Mills says we've already had someone go through most of the trailers. Is there something specific you're looking for? I might be able to help you.
Well, I don't know. We're here to give you fresh sets of eyes, so I figure that's a place to do that.
What did you find in Lance's room, Detective?
In his room, he had a calendar that was in his room. And in it was this event was marked in it. And it just had the words raw written down on it. It says 11 o'clock raw, R-A-W.
R-A-W, Raw. Okay. Maybe they were doing a WWE thing. I don't know.
Was this the last event on his calendar?
Our last show, Ben's telling you, our last show is from 8 to 10 p.m. on Monday. It's our last show for the evening. This special group wanted to come in at 11, and they wanted to be 11 to midnight show. Got to be honest, I don't like doing late shows on a Monday. We're getting ready to get out of here. It's time to go. But man, they throw a lot of money our way.
How much?
Normally for a private showing, it's about $50,000.
Okay.
And you fill the entire tent. This was 12 people for $100,000.
Oh boy. All right. That's interesting.
And there's no
That is.
Did they pay in cash? Is there no record of this transaction?
They paid Lance in cash.
I mean, what? Just they brought
Whoa, they had
suitcases full of hundreds?
You'd be surprised at how little $100,000 actually is.
I don't know. I've just seen movies with suitcases full of hundreds. I figured that's what we were dealing with.
It's
Okay,
seems
how is-
even in your shoes it'd be a lot to carry around in cash.
Sure, but it's not going to fill a suitcase. It's a couple of stacks.
Ivan looks at Vince and Blake when you say that about $100,000 just to see their facial expressions.
Yeah, I mean, I've never seen anything close to that amount of money. So you probably see a couple of, surprised blinks from me.
Yeah, I think Blake is giving Elliot a new, she's looking at him with fresh eyes.
And I just I'm not all that interested in Elliot's, Dr. Knight's money flaunting discussion about how little $100,000 is. I think Vince probably just wants to move on to look at the trailers, get in there and kind of poke around.
Keep records with it. I guess taxes you wouldn't.
As Professor Gregor says something about taxes, Ben kind of his head.
So this was an under the table situation.
Uh-huh.
I see. I've got a Greyhound.
Ivan might not be very sneaky, but he'd like to kind of bypass Ben and walk over to, what was her face again?
Detective Mills.
Detective Mills or Jenny?
Jenny. Walk over to Jenny and be like, and just sort of lean in. And he's trying to be as nonchalant as possible and be like, so who hit him? And he just sort of gives.
Lance punched him right in the face. I thought he was going to knock him out.
What did he say?
They were so pissed at each other. And when she says that, Ben turns and goes, Jenny, this is not the time to be speaking
You
out of
don't
turn.
get in the way of investigation.
And Detective Mills takes Ben back a little bit and goes, yeah, let's not interfere with the big Russian guy.
Please tell all. Don't worry. He can't. I'm looking for a word. It's illegal for him to blame you for talking to us. And he makes sure he stares at Ben when he says that. Trying to intimidate. I don't know if that's a thing. I think that's a thing.
Yeah, there's
It
an
is.
intimidation
It is a thing.
roll if you want.
Yeah. Go ahead. Make the
How
intimidation
does a
roll.
7-foot Russian with teeth in every direction have 30 to intimidate?
Every direction.
Listen,
36.
you made the character.
I did. 36, and I had to roll 30. I'm going to use a little more luck.
You're going to use up
Just
all
okay.
your luck, dude. That's,
Yeah,
I
yep,
mean,
yep.
you know, you do you.
That's how I
I
play
use
too.
6 more luck.
Okay, so you've used your luck to get it to success. Ben appears to be appropriately intimidated in this moment, and Jenny tells you that Saturday night the two of them were arguing about the show. That normally people book private shows weeks or months in advance. This guy came in here, big, tall guy, not as tall as you, maybe not as tall as you, maybe about this tall. And she was like maybe 6 foot tall and super pale and really nice suit though. He wore a black suit and he had one of those canes, silver like cane.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think he ever let it touch the ground. He just carried it as he was going with it. It's a little creepy. He was a little creepy, by the way. Give me a bad vibe. But he was meeting with Lance, and after he met with Lance, Lance went over and met with Ben, and that's when I don't know how the conversation went, but I do know that Ben said something to Lance, and Lance slugged him.
Ooh.
Say,
And then Ben said, "Hey, we disagreed," and Lance was able to convince me that I was wrong.
Clearly.
say, Vince, if this woman were to describe this person to you, do you think you could draw a picture? I know you're not.
Absolutely.
I don't know. I'm not an art man. I don't know if this is your kind of thing or not.
I can draw figural art. Absolutely. It might look a little weird, but I'll try not to make her look too strange. But I certainly know how to do, figures, people.
Make your art roll for me.
Okay.
Can I motivate him by saying something? Is that a possibility? I know like inspiration is something for D&D, but
It's
I
not
have
really
something
for
that Ivan
Call of
would say.
Cthulhu, but
Yeah.
There's like help
flavor.
actions, but not really, yeah.
I don't know in this case that there's a good solution for it.
It probably, sorry, I was going to say it probably doesn't motivate you, but Ivan just says maybe Doctor's robot lady can do better.
No,
That's like the opposite.
He glares at Ivan and he glares at Dr. Knight and says, "No, I will do this." Now, my painting is specifically surrealist painting, so I'm going to roll this. And if I fail, it's going to be a really weird painting.
I know assistant roles aren't a thing, but there is actually a skill
Oh, that was a fail.
Professor Gregor can use to assist in gaining ultimate focus in the use of a skill. And that is one of the optional uses of the hypnosis skill.
Ooh.
Pulp Cthulhu stuff.
So if
okay,
you are
cool.
willing to be put into a trance and
Vince says,
open yourself up. to the
"Sure, why
suggestion."
not? Anything to stop that evil robot from doing anything."
So
You guys hear Elliot
Vince.
whisper under his breath, Diana, cancel the process.
I think there's a moment where Professor Gregor says, "Hypnotize you," and you have this flashback to your cigarette lighter.
Oh.
Your heirloom.
Yeah.
And Professor Gregor using it to hypnotize somebody else in the past. And then using it to jury rig a booby trap for the Yeti.
Yeah.
Where your cigarette lighter did not come out in very good shape.
Mint
afterwards.
condition.
So there are two things kind of going through Vince's mind as he remembers those things. First of all, he remembers that both of those things kind of worked. Even though he lost his lighter, the booby trap worked. And, he was pissed about the lighter at first, but it's a lighter. I mean, he was able to get another one pretty quickly. Yeah, it was sentimental, but that was years ago. Ultimately, Vince absolutely believes in the power of hypnosis and is willing to undergo the process.
Blake, as Professor Gregor prepares to hypnotize Vince so that he could truly master his art in this moment, what have you been doing?
I've been peeking my head around corners, kind of trying to scout the area. However, when I hear Professor Gregor get excited about hypnotizing someone new, I've seen what that looks like, and I think I'm going to go up to Sophie, Detective Sophie Mills and Ben Williamson, and essentially try to be like, hey, maybe we could take a look at the performers' cabin, the trailers, and I'm going to try to corral them away from this strange kind of activities that our consulting, quote, detectives are starting to engage in.
give you something on that, because as you were wandering around poking, the nearest thing to you from where from the entranceway is the big top tent. And I think in your wanders, staying within sight, staying within hearing distance of them, you move 15, 20 feet to the entrance to the tent, and you pull the flap back just to see inside of it.
What do I see?
And inside of it, you see stadium seating erected all around the inside of it. You see what looks like a tunnel through the stadium seating out toward the center ring. In the center ring, you see yellow tape marked off. You see yellow cards, like folded 3x5 cards, in position on the floor in the ring. You see a collection of folded chairs that are scattered all about. You see a set piece that looks like maybe the wall of a crypt that has been knocked over and is tilted on its side. And you see those in a moment, in a quick glance. And then you hear, "I'm going to hypnotize you." And you're distracted and pulled back to the center. And you reach over and you find Detective Mills and Ben Williamson, and you start to guide them away. Dr. Knight, what about you?
I think Elliot is going to look around and just see if he sees any like security cameras that this company might be using. And if there are, he's going to try and.
There are a number of security cameras. Every entrance to the Big Top has a security camera in it. You can also see security cameras in the ticket booth watching the tickets as well from where you're at.
I think he's going to try to hack into those, basically trace back to the source where it might be getting recorded and download local copies of any of the past few days, especially the security camera footage around the disappearance, just to be able to have it and kind of scan through it to see if there's anything noticeable or interesting.
Okay. You work with your AI, Diana, to start retrieving that information. You also did a reverse lookup of Detective Mills. And what you find from Detective Mills is she's been with the New Eden Police Department for about 7 years. Fairly good career. She has a number of complaints against her for excessive force, but nothing that has led to disciplinary action.
Okay. It's good to know. It's going to eggshells that lady a little bit.
Okay. And Professor Gregor, go ahead and make your hypnotism roll.
All right. That is an extreme success.
Oh, you
Very
hypnotized the
good.
heck out of me. I'm sitting there staring at you, drooling a little.
Professor Gregor pulls. This is my I keep a second handkerchief on me just for mesmerism. I'll just sort of wipe it away, and then he'll put it in Vince's pocket. You can keep that.
So Vince, currently feeling very, very relaxed, you feel the creative juices flowing through you. Jenny gives you some detailed descriptions. Blake, you took Ben away, correct?
I tried to lead them away. Yeah.
So you're there alone with Jenny as she's giving you these descriptions of this person. And you have exceptional detail about the suit he's wearing, about the cane, about the rings that he had on his fingers, that he had multiple rings on each of his hands, and you were able to draw them with precision. He had long black hair. He has dark hair, a dark hat, kind of like a low cut fedora type hat.
So I paint that figure, and it's realistic, but it's still a little weird and a little bit swirly in places, just because that's Vince's art style. But it's 100% recognizable as the person we're looking for. And Vince then just sort of stops and stares at you.
When I snap my fingers, you will come to consciousness and remember all that you have done and seen.
And Vince sort of, did I drool at you? Good God, man, you've got to get that a little more under control. You can't make people into drooling zombies.
There's an extra handkerchief in your left pocket.
I pull it out and I wipe off. I'm not embarrassed about that at all. And I walk away, and I am very embarrassed.
You did very well, Vince. It's a spitting image. What do you think?
I look at it and I say, well, it's nice. It's good. I mean, I don't know. If it's the description that we have, then this is who we're looking for. Here we are.
As you're looking at this picture, there are no facial features at all.
So I'm looking at a picture of a guy in a black suit with no facial features and a hat.
No facial features. The eyes, the lips, the nose are all missing. And as Jenny was describing it to you, she kept, every time you tried to get her back to describe one of those things, she shifted to describe something else. And you went over and over and tried to get this to the point where you feel like she probably did tell you something, but you just can't remember what it was. It just slipped out of your mind. But then again, maybe she never did tell you, because you, three of you were there, four of you were there listening to this conversation. And when you see the empty facial features, you're trying to recall something and you don't. And Jenny goes, I can't remember what he looked like, what his face was. And let's stop for right there, and we'll pick up next time with Blake leading the detectives away and our strange mystery figure. Thank you very much.